Mad? Mad? You squeaks say I am mad. Yes. Only mad would bring the doom sphere.
I saw the thing with my own eyes. A great orb of steel, the size of a steamship, and packed with raw wordstone. IKIT Claw constructed his wordstone bomb over the fault running beneath Karakazul. If he'd been able to unleash the power of his weapon, he would have precipitated an earthquake the likes of which no dwarf has seen since the time of woes.
IKIT Claw, the chief warlock engineer of Clan Scryer, is one of the most ambitious and talented warlock engineers of his age, and the infamous right fang of Lord Morskitar, who is the one true ruler of Clan Scryer. IKIT Claw has taken Clan Scryer's mix of science and sorcery to new levels of complexity and depravity. Entire legions of Skaven slaves have been blasted into liquid and pieces in the name of IKIT's experimental new weapons. A small price to pay, of course, for the sheer power and killing might that IKIT has added to Clan Scryer's deadly arsenal. In his quest for knowledge, IKIT has travelled the world, stealing secrets from the mystics of Cathay in the east, studying the dimension-spanning machines of Lustria, and toiling for years alongside the cruel forge masters of far-off Zarnagrund. Upon his return, IKIT found the warp forges of Clan Scryer woefully underdeveloped. It would take centuries to fully implement his grandiose changes. It was during the Great Skaven Civil War that IKIT indeed seized his opportunity to the fullest. As the newly assigned lead emissary of Lord Morskitar, the ruler of Clan Scryer, the younger IKIT Claw ordered massive warp forges and unrivaled armories to be gnawed into the stone beneath Skavenblight itself. Infernal devices and diabolical weapons were soon being assembled on a level never before seen. Should nothing stop this mad tinker-rat from continuing on in his research, he may create a weapon too powerful and diabolical that it could threaten the very world to total annihilation. IKIT Claw is one of the most powerful sorcerers in the old world, and he has dedicated his long life to the study of all forms of magic and science, including spells and technology of men, elves and dwarves. Over the decades prior to the Second Skaven Civil War, IKIT Claw travelled secretly to the far-flung corners of the Under Empire. He visited distant Cathay to steal secrets from the ancient human mystics, and he rifled the buried vaults of Vorshgar in the northern wastes of Nagaroth. He risked the wrath of Clan Pestilence by journeying through the steaming jungles of Lustria and visiting the monolithic ruins which have stood there since the beginning of time. From his great journeying, IKIT Claw drew together an encyclopedic knowledge of the spells of all the civilized races. When he returned to Skavenblight, IKIT Claw found his master and the other Lords of Decay teetering on the brink of civil war after the failure of Clan Pestilence's Red Pox in Bretonnia. Lord Morskitar had withdrawn to the Clan Scryer quarter of Skavenblight and was waiting for the inevitable collapse. IKIT Claw hastened to his side and stood ready. Sure enough, Clan Pestilence made an attempt to seize the council chamber, and fighting spilled over into Skavenblight. When the time was ripe, Lord Morsquitar sent IKIT Claw to lead the Warlock Engineers to the temple, ostensibly to restore order. IKIT Claw's spells were unstoppable, and he swept the temple precincts clear of the battling factions with fiery blasts and hails of dark blades. Clan Scryer seized the temple in an unshakable grip, and Lord Morsquitar emerged to declare himself ruler of Skavenblight. However, by this time, internecine fighting had spread throughout the Under Empire, and no one was listening to even the mighty Lords of Decay anymore. Lord Morsquitar ruled most of Skavenblight for several centuries, driving out the other clans from the lower tunnels and the other quarters of the city. IKIT Claw, of course, was his most trusted servant during this time, overseeing the great works of science and sorcery which Lord Morsquitar set into motion. It was from these great experiments that IKIT Claw sensed the rising tide of dark magic that preceded the great Chaos Incursion before anyone else in the Under Empire. So it was that Lord Morsquitar was prepared when the Grey Seers declared their intention to invoke the Horned Rat and end the war. As IKIT Claw continues his diabolical pursuit to create more murderous weapons of mass destruction, the Tinker Rat has unexpectedly created the first ever atomic bomb, a weapon the likes of which could literally see the entire world be engulfed in nuclear fire. His first ever attempts of creating his infamous Doom Sphere was when he raided the holds of Karak Drak, hoping to make many of the hold's engineers slaves. Yet the valiant efforts of Master Engineer Clarak Bronzehammer slowed IKIT's progress considerably. It was upon the caves beneath Karak Azul that his first prototype of the Doomsphere was finally created. Clarak once more came and disrupted his efforts. In desperation, the foolish Tinker Rat activated the machine, but its imperfect design only saw the machine break apart and explode, though not as magnificently as it was designed to. IKIT Claw survived the encounter, and after many years, the Tinker Rat found another opportunity to create a newer and better Doomsphere. Heading towards the dwarf hold of Karak Kul, IKIT Claw stole his arch-nemesis, Clarak Bronzehammer's newest and most improved metal alloy, called Barazhunk. With this improved metal, IKIT's latest Doomsphere was sure to be magnificently destructive beyond imagination. Yet, due to the valiant efforts of Clarak Bronzehammer and the dwarfs of Karak Kul, the infamous Doomsphere was once again destroyed. In the final moments of that pivotal event, IKIT Claw survived, and so, as long as he lives, the very fate of this world will forever be threatened by this half-mad Tinker Rat. IKIT Claw is tall and white-furred, always a sign of distinction and power amongst the Skaven. Like all the members of Clan Scryer, he constantly tinkers and experiments with new weapons and devices, delighting in anything which brings harm to foes. Latest amongst his many inventions is the Doom Wheel, a terrifying engine of destruction which has smashed its way through the serried ranks of dwarf, orc and human regiments with brutal precision. IKIT's face and arm were badly burned in a failed experiment long ago. He has constructed an intricate mask to cover his mutilated and hairless skull, and a cunningly made skeletal claw of iron, crystal and brass to give strength to his withered arm. The claw contains several of his more successful inventions, including a small warp-fire projector. IKIT Claw also bears Storm Demon, a hellish weapon that he created in his own warpstone forges deep in the Undercity. Like many Warlock engineers, IKIT Claw is a mad Tinker Rat, obsessed with the pursuit of technology. Yet unlike the other Warlock engineers, his madness and obsession has the potential to obliterate the entire world with a single push of a button. So committed is the Chief Warlock to prove his superiority to the world that he would go to any length to achieve his goals. One of the greatest goals is to create a weapon the likes of which would uplift the Chief Warlock's name beyond even Master Morse Guitar's own fame. In all practicality, the Chief Warlock is mad, so obsessed with his science and his technology that he didn't care what happened to the Under Empire, so long as he could boast about unleashing the most destructive force ever known to mankind, and ratkind. The Claw would ruin all of Skavendom, just so he could measure the power of his creation for all to bear and see. Say whatever you like about IKIT Claw, you could never say that he is not a true Skaven.
Messenger, tell say that IKIT Claw, Chief Warlock of Clan Scryer, Master of the Warpstorm, Flayer of Forgemaster Garhak Bloodtongue, Butcher of Chicom Mikotel, Gutter of Jarl Alfhild Demonkin, Burner of Magister Klaus von Dohnhoff, Razor of Helwigstadt, Cutter